the American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good. We believe that all men have the right to freedom of thought and expression. We believe that all men are created equal because they are created in the image of God. From this faith, we will not be moved.
Hello and welcome to the Freedom of Thought podcast. I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Freedom of Thought is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. As well, there's all kinds of crazy things going on. Of course, Tesla is being terrorized by crazy people on the left that just can't stand the fact that Elon Musk isn't on their side, basically in that he's willing to, well, cut costs in the government. And if it means like jobs that probably shouldn't exist anyway, getting cut, well, we just got to go burn any Tesla car out there possible. And then vandalize dealerships one way or another. And otherwise, you have people locally that I saw today putting the sticker on their car saying, well, locally and everywhere, but locally I saw it today for the first time in person. Surprised I haven't seen it like 30,000 other times already, but I probably have, just didn't pay attention, that I bought this car before Elon went crazy. And it's like, you know, shouldn't it be the other way around? Like, I think it's the other way around. I mean, Elon sold you that car before you went crazy, you know, that type of thing. Now it's like, why would I sell you this car, basically? No, I know. I mean, obviously business is business. You want to sell the car. But, I mean, I don't know. I think it's these people going crazy. Like, you bought that car before you went crazy. That sounds a bit more appropriate. That's probably the best way to put it at the end of the day. So, yes, kind of talking about Tesla, Elon Musk, Tim Walz, obviously related in this story with a idiotic statement he made. Locally, of course, he's unfortunately the governor of Minnesota. That's local. And like I was saying, kind of turning our guns a bit off and on towards locally here as well. And I don't mean literal guns. I mean political guns like, hey, you know, we got to, yes, we have to win elections here in the state of Minnesota, without a doubt. Like, things have to change here in the worst way. We have an absolute maniac for a governor. We have maniacs for senators and House representatives that don't represent us in any way, shape, or form. And it's just, I don't know, it's not something that we, they're not the kind of people we need representing us no matter what here. I mean, whether you're a moderate conservative or like a hardcore conservative or whatever you identify as. Apologize, I was almost getting distracted here. I swear, like, just strange people kind of coming up, parking right next to you. It can drive you absolutely nuts. So yes, this is a mobile episode again. Sometimes it's mobile, sometimes it's not. Today is mobile. Last episode, of course, was in studio. I think the last two were, if I remember correctly. So yes, Elon Musk. I'm going to get to the Tim Walz soundbite. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it pretty good. I'm going to literally do it right here on the fly. But also we're going to get a little bit into something that's going to be more of a mysterious adventures topic. But we'll get into it a bit here as well. And it'll be kind of like a prequel in a way to a Mysterious Adventures episode. It's going to have to be the next episode, one way or another, be it this weekend, getting released this weekend, or early into the next week, like Monday, Tuesday-ish. But this whole crazy find with the pyramids, the incredible finds here where, yeah, well, we'll get to that in a little bit. But absolutely shocking. And in some ways, it's like, in some ways, it's kind of like, it's like you always kind of knew there's more to it than meets the eye. But boy, there's a lot more to all of that than meet the eye. And that at very least, the three largest pyramids were not, I repeat, not built by the Egyptians. There is no way, absolutely no chance those were built by the Egyptians. They were not built by human beings. Impossible. Obviously too large, and the parts of the structure too large. But let's just say going underneath the pyramids as far as they do, impossible. A human being can't do that. So anyhow, back to Tim Walz. Before I dig too deep into the whole pyramid rabbit hole at the moment, we'll get there. We'll get there very soon. But to what Tim Walz had to say, here's a short.
On my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you. Thing on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this.
What's the difference between that and Tim Walz saying, I get a kick out of it?
First of all, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest, and I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president.
So yeah, literally a short. You can say it's a short video. It's like a short. They call it a short on on YouTube. So that's your governor, Minnesota. Are you proud? We're Minnesota, and we're loud, and we're proud. Oh yeah, loud and proud. Yeah, loud and proud of themselves, I guess. Oh, there's a lot of loud and proud here. Oh yeah, they're loud and they're proud. That doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean you're right. Just because you're a majority, like the majority of the state is Democrat, and the majority of them are, and they're loud. Neither one of those things make you correct. Neither. Like, let's just say, in the workplace, the same thing. Like, the noisiest people at work doesn't mean they're right. Just because the majority of people there want something a certain way doesn't mean they're correct either. It doesn't. They're just the loudest, that's all. At the end of the day. So, like what they call conservatives, the silent majority. Yeah, pretty much. So that's our governor. Yeah, boy, not condemning one single terrible thing that's taken place. Rather than let's just mock Tesla and like watch the stock drop. It's such a wonderful thing. Makes him feel great. It just makes his day watching the stock drop. For the heck of it, I'm going to hop on E-Trade here. See how Tesla's doing. I mean, what the heck? It's like, boy, does it make you want to see it skyrocket. And this whole time you're getting the vibe like this, like what's going on. A lot of these powers that be and such, they're literally, sabotaging the stock market right now to make Trump look worse and worse. It's just a damn shame. TSLA, of course, is that. So what was he saying? 222 and dropping? Well, now it's 249. I'm sorry, Tim. I hate to break it to you, but yeah, let's see. Well, it's obviously not in the 400s like it was once upon a time. Man, that wasn't even that long ago. What the heck? Wow, that was high. Oh, man. That's crazy. Back around Christmas, it was pretty high. But, well, I mean, I know. It's been dropping because of all the left wing basically short selling the stock. Imagine that. So, yep, 222 was the minimum. So, sorry, Tim. It has gone up since then. And any intelligent investor knows when a pretty strong company drops that much, it's probably going to bounce back. So you start buying. Yeah, you start buying. You don't just go, oh, I'm going to sell too. Oh, panic. No, you start buying. And then the stock starts working its way back up because you're smart. You're buying on the bounce. That's kind of how the stock market works. You buy on the bounce. In fact, most of the stocks I bought were, let's say they were struggling at the time. Do you really buy a stock when it's at like its peak? Or is that stupid? It's kind of stupid, actually, isn't it? So that's kind of how I approach that. Not sure what this weirdo's doing, but I don't think they're here for deal with me or anything. They're just weird. But I know I'm so mean and judgmental, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to sound like Tim Walz. The stock's dropping. Just kidding. Sounds like he smokes a lot. I don't know. Who knows? It's none of my business. Really don't want to know. But I don't know. I mean, what's been going on? And again, the way these crazy people continue to commit these crimes and act like who cares, basically. It's so strange how, how Tim Walz basically handled the whole George Floyd thing years ago. And it just doesn't seem like it's in his blood to condemn, like, dare we call it vandalism. It just doesn't seem like it's in his blood. Like, yeah, keep it up. Basically, keep it up. Even though he spoke out a bit at the time, did absolutely nothing about it. He did literally nothing about it. So, I mean, what are you going to do? He just let Minneapolis burn. Great. Thank you, Tim. So, really appreciate him. He's wonderful, but let's have those tampons in those boys' bathrooms. Why do we need those? Litter boxes, too. Meow. We need those litter boxes. Yeah, it's a huge joke. Obviously, again, I do believe that the stock market, unfortunately, people are falling for this lie that Trump is actually making things much worse. Did you not watch how things were operating the last 4 years? Did you not, especially the last 3.5-ish years? But really pretty much the whole 4 years of the Biden presidency. Yeah, the stock started going up a little bit at the very end. But again, it just reeked of, again, more manipulation. You don't think there's some massive, big fat cats out there like, Michael Bloomberg, and I'm not accusing him of anything, but just saying, people like that. Bloomberg, let's see, this George Soros guy, I mean, you could pretty much accuse him of anything and be correct. Just about basically being a Nazi sympathizer. George Soros, yeah, people like that. And yeah, I mean, there's so many out there. You could just go on and on, so many fat cats, whether you know their names or not, that continue to support what's been going on. Any type of manipulation to hurt Trump one way or another during 2020, and obviously helping Biden in the end a little bit to make it look a little better, to hopefully, obviously, make him look a teeny bit better, and to also encourage people to possibly vote for Kamala Harris, because boy, oh boy, she's so great. And again, now all this crazy sabotage that's been going on at the moment, and of course, in the media, people, making all their statements of how bad tariffs are and how stupid it is and how this and that, and Trump is messing everything up. So everybody basically get out of the stock market, or starts getting out of the stock market, panic selling and such. So it's all kind of a ripple effect that's constantly happening, unfortunately, with the stock market. And that's what's been hurting Trump a little bit at the beginning here, as far as I'm concerned. And unfortunately, so many people on both sides have been falling for it, especially on the left, or people that maybe they voted for Trump for the first time. But luckily, most people are not fooled by it, because it's like, hello, have you been paying attention the last X amount of years? This kind of nonsense has been going on forever. It's obviously a deep state thing. Now, of course, the JFK files were released. Of course, that could be another episode coming up one of these days. For this show, of course, that is not a Mysterious Adventures conversation. That is a freedom of thought conversation. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm not ready for that yet. It's, again, there's so many different things, so many different tentacles to that story. Weird parts of it, too, as well. Talking about, like Social Security numbers and such were put out there, were made public, which is kind of weird. So, unfortunately, I don't know what Social Security numbers were doing in those 80,000 pages, but I suppose in 80,000 documents, you're going to probably have something, I mean, you're going to probably have something there that's not necessary, that's absolutely not necessary, that might be a private thing, like a Social Security number. So that is extremely unfortunate. Again, I have no idea what a Social Security number is doing on a JFK file. I don't understand that, but I guess that's been going on. So that's a dang shame. Of some people that are obviously still alive. A lot of people going back that far that were old enough to be like full-fledged adults and be involved in this one way or another are either dead or in their 90s, I got to think. So, I mean, like really young people would be in their 90s now, wouldn't they? Like George H.W. Bush, who was there, was very young. Wasn't he like 28 or so? I think he was around that age, but still old enough to be, old enough to be anything, basically. You could be a powerful police officer at age 28. A powerful one, not like a young rookie. And of course, he was a member of the CIA. He was a CIA officer at the time. He was in the CIA, and of course, the CIA was very much against John F. Kennedy. So that's kind of been a thing, and that's kind of been a theme. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes and uncover it and such. So we'll see. We'll see how this all turns out. It's quite a saga, to say the least. That's been going on forever, and now it's been exposed, and it's been released, and thank you, Donald J. Trump, for keeping your promise about that. Like you said, a man of your word. Okay, so should we talk about these pyramids a bit, if humanly possible? I also posted an image, like computer-generated image of what it kind of looks like. Obviously, there's the main picture, Giza Pyramids, the largest pyramids in Egypt, the main ones that were not built by humans. There's no way. The way they were built and the size and all that, it could not have been built by a human being. This was talked about many years ago, that human beings can't do it right now, even with modern technology, can't do it. So how the heck could they do it in the past? Probably much larger beings. Either angels, be it they were fallen already or they hadn't fallen yet. And this was part of Lucifer's empire on this planet way back in the past, before Lucifer fell. Did you ever notice something? So this could be the, this could be on both, this part right here could absolutely be on both episodes. About how I talk about the New World Order oftentimes on Freedom of Thought for many years now. Now that this show's been out since late 2020. I think it was November 2020 was when this show debuted. Interesting time for it to debut. It could have debuted earlier, and I wish it did. Like November 2019, I think, is when I first created the actual podcast feed, and then just let it sit there blank, dormant for a year, because I just wasn't ready yet. I was scared to get in fold of all this. But not scared to talk about the New World Order necessarily. I'd always hint at it in certain podcasts, but not say too much. But did you ever notice symbolic images of the New World Order often involve pyramids? Did you ever notice that? And the all-seeing eye, the capstone on the top of the pyramid? Why is that? Did you ever wonder? Well, of course. Lucifer's empire. Yeah. New World Order is not good, obviously. By the way, if anybody thinks the New World Order is a good thing, this one world government that was obviously the New World Order, it's bringing back Lucifer's empire. You know, of course Lucifer wants to bring his empire back. He fell. It was the fall of Lucifer, and I want all my power back, and then I want to defeat God and all that. Basically what Nimrod was talking about. He wanted to defeat God with some kind of magic arrow or something. And I don't know, magic exists, and magic certainly did exist then. And this pyramid and these pyramids in general had a heck of a lot more going on than a lot of people want to admit, including a potential power source, a technology and a power source type of something that is beyond our comprehension at this point in time. It was more, kind of like how there's electricity in modern times, dating back to let's say the late 1800s up to today, how it's advanced and such. Lithium batteries, blah, 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 blah. Starting off with, being able to turn a light bulb on. Eventually start a car with a battery, with a starter, and all kinds of power. Powering up your house, your refrigerator. You could go on all day. I mean, examples of what you need power for, your air conditioner, your heating. You could go on all day. Okay, I know, I've gone on enough rabbit holes at that. But the potential of power source from these gigantic structures and what was underneath them and still is something far beyond our human comprehension at this point. Now, people talk about the different possible types of energy created here, but again, it's like something none of us could really, we've never seen it. We've never seen it happen. This is technologies that apparently existed on this planet in the dateless past. Definitely before Noah's Ark, definitely before the flood, which absolutely would have to be before the Egyptians. But I strongly believe this is pre-Adamic, before Adam, possibly 30,000 years ago. That's kind of the number that's been floated out there by these scientists that have a lot more of they have a good idea more of what they're talking about than I do. Scientists, archaeologists, and such. So this was found by satellite images, where you can. It was found underneath these pyramids through satellite images that there is a heck of a lot more going on below these pyramids. Now, I'm just looking at the image, but I need to actually read this. So, John Cremins, before I kind of start talking out of place here, the Giza Pyramids origin take an unsuspecting turn. Advanced scans in 2025 have uncovered an astonishing underground complex beneath the Khafre Pyramid. Researchers found 5 multi-level structures linked by pathways, 8 deep cylindrical wells plunging 648 meters, and 2 massive cubic chambers spanning 2 kilometers under the Giza Plateau. 2 kilometers under the Giza Plateau. Can a human do that? Can they? Can a human actually build a structure that goes underground 2 kilometers? Continuing, this is completely fascinating. Could this be evidence of an even more advanced civilization that is responsible for the structures? I would say, God, yes. Anyhow, continuing, it would be interesting to see if the other pyramid-like structures in other parts of the globe had the same type of structures beneath them. Time will tell. Exactly. That's a wonderful appetizer. Not only for this conversation, but also going into, for the future. And, of course, future episodes on Mysterious Adventures. I'm going to probably do an episode this weekend, or it'll be either released this weekend or early next week, depending on availability for that one. Because that one's going to be a bit of a production, I think. A little bit, obviously. It's more of a conversation than anything else. Like, I'm not coming up here trying to be like, I'm the guy making all these big statements. I'm not making the big statements. I'm passing on the conversation. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing on this show and on Mysterious Adventures. But maybe on that one, it's a little more dramatic, you could say. Kind of like what I was doing on episodes of Freedom of Thought earlier this year in 2024. Last year, 2024, where I had some pretty dramatic episodes, like Lincoln Ghosts and obviously O.J. Simpson, aliens, this and that, which are not aliens. They're fallen angels or previous civilizations on this planet before Adam. Yeah, that are now, like disembodied spirits. Well, something this size and this magnitude with this ability of this type of power or technology is pretty insane, to say the least. You don't think this is absolutely remarkable and amazing? So again, it's kind of like an appetizer leading into Mysterious Adventures, because I'm going to keep digging and such. But yes, these are satellite radar that we're able to pick this up and figure this out. And this is everywhere. This is it's not just Alex Jones. It's not just this guy's YouTube and that guy's YouTube. It's everywhere. Everywhere. So yes, Alex Jones, of course. Jay Anderson, who went on Alex Jones. I believe was British. And great show. I believe it was the 3rd hour of Friday's show on Alex Jones. But then you're hearing people locally talking about it. Joe Soucheray, Garage Logic. It was just a short part of the show. But still, it was kind of in the later stages of it. Joe Soucheray, Garage Logic? That guy? Really? Talked about this? Wow. Yep. And he thinks obviously, clearly, there's more going on here. It's not just human beings. He thinks it's kind of more he sees it as like potentially aliens, and we're literally just we're just toys on somebody's like gigantic high-tech table out there in the universe. Well, in a way, but no. This is a previous civilization on this planet that involved beings pre-Adamic beings, at bare minimum, like L.A. Marzulli, who I'd love to have on Mysterious Adventures someday. That'd be amazing, if humanly possible. L.A. Marzulli talked about that possibly being after Adam, but like obviously pre-flood, so it would have been like Nephilim and such. Now, Nephilim weren't most likely on this planet. They were, as the Bible says. After that, Nephilim were on the planet afterwards. I've talked about on Freedom of Thought episodes, and continue on Mysterious Adventures. That kind of conversation generally will be on Mysterious Adventures, but at bare minimum, that era, like something like giant Nephilim working with fallen angels to build this type of a incredible complex structure. But it's not just the size of the structure, but it's the capabilities of it. The incredible source of power that these pyramids were. Source of, literally power as in electronic, but well beyond that. Scary Scary stuff. It's like a fascinating movie, isn't it? It's like a fascinating movie. Like, oh, and then like, and this horrible bad guy coming back to try to resurrect stuff like this. And who's that horrible bad guy? It's the devil. There's no doubt about that. So, and it was his empire. It was scary stuff. Yet at the same time, fascinating that this kind of stuff is still here, and now we're finding evidence of this, and how the Lord talked about how in the last days, knowledge is going to increase. Well, it's increasing. We're learning things that we had no idea were always here. Incredible. So, going to wrap up with that. Had to get that out, though. I mean, had to talk about that, and again, an appetizer for Mysterious Adventures. It's going to be, it should be a good episode. Again, it's definitely not my research. Again, I'm passing conversation on and giving opinions about it. That's kind of what we're about here. News commentary, you could call it. And of course, in that one as well, it's like science and nature and all that. And biblical this and Nephilim that and all that. So, well, Nephilim are in the Bible. So, yes, biblical history and end times and Genesis and all that. It's just, it's incredible. It's cool stuff. And hopefully you're interested in a similar topic here, because it's definitely at bare minimum an appetizer for things to come. Not only for freedom of thought, mysterious adventures, especially on that particular topic, but also just for all of us in general that are fascinated by these things that are being found. What's next? Because there are pyramid structures all over the earth. They're just not as obvious because in Egypt it's a much drier climate at this stage. So the pyramids are exposed for the whole world to see. In other climates, they might be covered in, they might be covered by vegetation. Other parts of the world, Asia, South America, and who knows, under the ocean, of course, covered by the ocean, vegetation, like I said. And, it's just, who knows? Who knows what's taking place? Who knows what's sunk underneath during the flood? It's crazy. Crazy, amazing stuff. So with that said, I think I've made my statement. I don't think, unfortunately, there's any new comments. I don't believe so. Love hearing from Mark from Iowa, Mark Carlson. I don't think there's any new comments on here. Just in case, Freedom of Thought 1776 is on Facebook. The Twitter is Freedom of Thou 76. So like that. And the Instagram, we'll get there in a second. Don't believe there's any responses. Yep, the slippery slope. Yep, let's get married, and how everything really deteriorated with, you give in to this and it just continues. It continues down a slippery slope. Yep. We'll leave that where that is, though. I don't really majorly want to get into that topic right now. Here he is. So there is a comment from Mark Carlson before I sign off here, and it's only fair. Better do it. Better get to this on Facebook. Mark Carlson says, listening today at the Sioux Falls VA. Cool, man. I haven't been very interactive lately, but just wanted you to know I am still listening, and thank you for your insights and hard work to produce this show. As for my opinion on Iran or the Middle East, well, maybe tariffs or outright bans of imports from governments that support terror or exploit ethnic groups and of commit crimes. Actually, there is a lot more to say on this subject. I will have to share a few more detailed opinions sometime in the near future. And please do, Mark. That would be greatly appreciated. See, thank you for bringing that. I appreciate that. And it's wonderful to hear from you. And anybody else that's wanting to do the same thing, Gerald String, Lee Hepner, others that I haven't met yet. And Mark, please keep these coming. It's absolutely great and massively appreciated. And I agree with that. Possibly tariffs on countries that are, harboring terrorism and supporting it. And obviously it's like they don't care. Let's just keep this coming. Here's one other thing too that I was talking about. I believe this might be yes, it is the last thing I posted. So real quick, I was saying this right here tells you what an absolute cesspool Minnesota truly is. This state absolutely needs an overhaul politically. It says the Minnesota House just voted on a bill which would require doctors to give medical life-saving care to babies who are born alive after botched abortions. Every single Democrat voted against it. The bill failed to pass. The Democrats have turned into a death cult. Yep, absolutely. See, that was somebody else that wrote that. I was just saying this tells you what an absolute cesspool Minnesota is, but can you believe that? All the Democrats all voted against possibly saving a baby's life after a botched abortion. You could save the baby's life, but they're like, nope, put it down. Too bad. Unbelievable. Every single Democrat, every single one in Minnesota voted against it, and the bill failed to pass. I'm sorry to end on that note. I really am. I really am. But I hope you did enjoy the appetizer earlier, possibly going deeper and deeper into this whole pyramid conversation and how that is going to be a fascinating conversation, probably going on for a long time, off and on, as more and more is found and more research is done on what this truly is all about. But there's a lot of opinions out there. Mine is that, again, it is pre-Adam. I believe L.A. Marzulli believes that it is pre-flood, which would be like later on, of course, but at least before the flood. Absolutely before the flood, no doubt about that. So we'll find out, and either way, it's opinions, it's theories and such. He may very well be 1,000% correct. So, and that's totally fine. So, and boy, it'd be an honor to have him on the show. Especially Mysterious Adventures. I think that's more or less the show he'd be on, where this one maybe obviously a little more on the political side, but a little bit of that extra conversation brought here as well. With that said, going to sign off for now. The Instagram, all the information is in the show description, but just to be polite and respectful here, the official Instagram is freedom_of_thought76. And of course, if you want to email me, like say any type of a call or audio submission, like Gerald has done in the past and Mark has done, PaladinoLive@yahoo.com, PaladinoLive@yahoo.com. I would then convert it into an MP3 file thanks to cloudconvert.com. Really appreciate that website. They really help a lot, and it's wonderful. So giving them a free plug for sure. You can convert files, sound files, pictures, I believe video as well. So it's very valuable. I haven't used it for video yet, but if someday. Other than that, if you could put a positive 5-star rating out there on the app you use to listen to the podcast, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever, would be greatly appreciated. Please share the show with your friends. Please do. We'd love to see this show grow and to build some algorithms. It's been a slow burn here. We'd love to see this show grow if humanly possible. So with that said, thank you so much. Take care. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.